Hello everyone, welcome to Crystal's Realm. I'm Crystal, and today I'm going to talk about fantasy movies that you can watch that might get you into fantasy movies if you don't already love them. So let's get started. My absolute number one, and it was hard because a lot of them, like I love all the books that I have on my list, but definitely my number one would be Harry Potter, the whole series. There are 8 movies in the series because the last part of the series of movies is a 2-parter. So there are 8 movies in total. I would say like 8 to 10 could start watching them. However, they do get darker. So I would say The Prisoner of Azkaban is kind of the transition going into the darkness of Harry Potter, just because it brings in Lord Voldemort and all the things he's done. So it can get very dark. So if you want to introduce your kids to it, you can. I would say the first 2 movies for sure you could show to like an 8 to 10-year-old. After that, it might have to be around 10 that you'd introduce it to them. Again, it depends on your kid. So you need to base it off of your kid's characteristics and who they are as a person to see if they'd be able to handle that. So that is that series. The second one I would say would be The Hobbit. I do not have Lord of the Rings on this, just because I found Lord of the Rings very long and drug out. Not sure if I said that correctly. Drug out. Anyways, I just found them very long because they're just traveling. Oh, there's a random battle scene and traveling. So I found Lord of the Rings very boring. The Hobbit, however, I found this one very intriguing. I have watched this numerous times. There's 3. It's like a trilogy. There are books on it as well. So if you wanted to read the books first, you could read the books first. But The Hobbit are very good. It got me very engaged. The characters are funny. It's whimsical. The main character is amazing, Will Baggins. So yeah, I would put this on the list. I would even say like 8 to 10-year-olds can watch this too. Again, it depends on your kid, because there are parts that are a little, like, I shouldn't say adult. Like, when I mean adult, I mean like the conversation that's happening between them. They might not know or understand what's actually transpiring in that moment, but it's fun because it's got dragons and it's got hobbits, it's got elves, all that fun stuff. The third one I would say is to watch The Labyrinth. This is from 1986. It is an older movie. Don't toss it away if you haven't seen it. And the people who have seen it know exactly what I'm talking about because they love The Labyrinth. Anybody who has seen it has loved The Labyrinth. It is cute, whimsical. This teenage girl, she lives in this world. She's always constantly reading this book, and she lives in this world, and she puts on plays. She goes to the park and puts on a play about this book. Like, it's the Goblin King, and he's coming to save her from her horrible parents who keep making her watch her baby brother, because I think she's like 14 or so, and she has to stay home and babysit her baby brother, and he's probably around the age of 1-ish, I would guess. 1.5. Premise is she makes this wish to a Goblin King to come and take her brother away, and the Goblin King has goblins come and take the baby away, and she has to go and rescue her baby brother. Some would argue that it's just in her mind and it is her imagination, and it's not actually something that happened, which is a lot of fantasy. But I thoroughly love this movie. It's got David Bowie in it and Jennifer Connelly. She's very young in it. So is David Bowie. But it's great. I would say to watch it. It's amazing. It's by Jim Henson. So, you're gonna love it. If you haven't seen it, you gotta see it, okay? The next one is called Big Fish. It came out in 2003 and it stars Ewan McGregor. I can't remember. I think Jessica Lange's in it too, if I'm correct. I might be wrong. I apologize. But this one is about this man. He's older now, and he's kind of has an estranged relationship with his son because his son thinks that his dad just exaggerates all these stories that happened in his life, and he just hates how he embellishes all these stories. He just hates it. So I don't want to say he's not somber, he's just, I guess, bitter. Like, just no nonsense. This is what the type of person he became as he got older. And his dad told him the life story of like how he met his mom, and that's what the whole movie is about, is his dad growing up. So his dad goes back and tells a story of all that happened to him from when he was a kid until he met his mom, and all the adventures that he went on and all of that. And it's a really cute story. It's really touching because the son finally realizes why his dad is the way that he is, and he understands why his dad was such a vivacious storyteller, right? So I would highly recommend watching it. I believe Tim Burton made this one as well. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. The Never Ending Story. Just the first one. Come at me if you want, but I hated the second one. The first one is my true love, okay? This one came out in 1984, and it is amazing. I haven't seen it in years, but I do remember it because I used to watch it over and over and over again when I was growing up. Probably around the age of 8 to 10-ish, I would say, is when I first started watching it. A kid, and see, my memory might be fuzzy because I know he finds a book. I can't remember if he finds it in the attic of his house or if he finds it in a bookstore. That is where I'm fuzzy on. I can't remember. But this kid finds a book. He ends up taking it, and I know he reads it in the attic. The attic. I know he reads it in there, and it's called The Never Ending Story. And so he reads it, and then it changes to the actual characters from the book, and it tells the story as he's reading it. So it's very sweet. I love it. Brings nostalgia back to me. It's a classic in my mind for fantasy watchers. Another one would be Jumanji. Not the new ones. The OG. The OG Jumanji from 1990. Okay? With Robin Williams. Young Kristen Dunst is in it. It's amazing. It's about a board game. They hear that this board game is like special, I guess you could say. So Robin Williams, as a kid, Robin Williams isn't playing the kid, but there's a kid who's playing his character, Peter, who brings this board game over to his friend's house, and they end up playing this game. And the game sucks him up. And it takes a certain role for somebody to bring him back. And it fast forwards to the other two kids, Kirsten Dunst and her brother, like in the movie. And they find the board game in the attic. And they end up playing it, they roll it, he ends up coming back. And it has this whole thing, like monkeys come out of it, rhinos come out of it. It's crazy. A lion comes out of it. It's just really, really cool and crazy. Again, I would do the original because the newer ones are okay, but I grew up with this one, so it's got a place in my heart. It has Robin Williams in it, and he was the greatest comedian, in my opinion, of all time. I'm sad he is no longer with us. The next one I would say to watch would be the Pirates of the Caribbean. This for sure you could introduce to your kids who are 8 to 10. There are some spooky scenes just because there are skeletons in it, because the Black Pearl is cursed with all the pirates on it, and at night they turn into skeletons. There are some spooky parts, but I love it. Again, I grew up with it. I would have been 14 or so when it came out, and I was obsessed. I saw all of them. I used to watch them every summer. Stopped doing that when I became a mom just because I got busy, but yeah, I just love it. Johnny Depp's in it, Keira Knightley, Orlando Bloom. and it's an amazing cast. It's an amazing storyline. I mean, it's Disney. So of course here we have The Wizard of Oz. There has been the newest craze of Wicked and then Wicked for Good, the two from the Broadway show. 1939 is when it was released. I believe, from what I remember, is it was one of the first color movies. They went from black and white to color, and there's a bunch of history behind it. If you actually read up on The Wizard of Oz, there's a lot of things. There's supposed hauntings. They used like asbestos for the flower scene when she's sleeping in the flower. Yeah, it's insane, the stuff that they did back then, because they didn't know, right? They had no knowledge. But anyways, I digress. This would be a good movie to introduce to your kids. It's very lighthearted, and because it's so much older, like the graphics, there's no animation, there's no CGI to like make the monkeys look so realistic, right? So it's very old school, so it might not scare them as much. Yeah, and again, it's a classic. Like, we grew up with The Wizard of Oz. I'm pretty sure every kid has seen The Wizard of Oz. So I would say to introduce this to your kids, absolutely. Next we have Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. This is from 1971. I didn't realize I grew up watching this. My mom and my aunts probably grew up watching this as well, because this would have came out when they were babies. So they probably grew up watching it. I'm pretty sure everybody has seen Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, which is why you need to introduce your kids to it, because it's one of those classics that everybody always talks about or references this to. You know, it's one of those classic movies like The Wizard of Oz that there's references to it. So if you haven't watched it, you have no idea what anybody's talking about. So introduce your kids to it. You can watch it. I wouldn't say anytime too soon. I usually watch this with my kids around Easter time, just because it's a factory that is making chocolate. Last on here, but certainly not least, is The Princess Bride. If you know, you know. This one, I love stupid comedy. Like, I shouldn't say that word either. That's not a nice word to say, but I just love that random wordness. Like, it makes me laugh, and it's so funny. Again, the premise of this is there's the kid from Wonder Years is in this. Again, this movie is back from like the 80s, but he is being read this book. I can't remember if it's his dad or his uncle, but somebody's reading him a book, and it's The Princess Bride. And it's just got humorous moments in it. Like, there's like swashbuckling, and there's adventure, it's comedic, it's just everything wrapped up in one. And it's fantasy because it's about a book that the kid is reading. So again, he starts reading the book, but then it goes to the characters in the book, and it shows what they're going through while he's reading it. Yeah, it's just funny. I would really introduce this to your kids. Probably not till they're older. I would say around 10 or older is when to introduce it to them, because it does have like romance and all of that. I was first introduced to this movie when I was in high school. So I was in vocal class. And some days they didn't do anything. They just watched a movie because there was nothing else to do. And this was one of the movies, and it introduced me to it, and I was like, what is this movie? And it's hilarious, and I love it. And I mean, if you wanted to wait till they were teens, that's fine too. I just like early teens, like 12, 13 would be a good time to introduce it to them. I just always loved it. That is all for me today. Those are all the movies that I think you should start watching and introducing to your children, who it might introduce them to a world of fantasy, and maybe they'll even find their own fantasy stuff that they want to watch. If you think that I've missed any, or if there's anything you want to say about the ones that I have on the list, you can write them in the comments. Feel free to share. I want to hear people's opinions. And until next time, guys, happy movie watching and enjoy. Bye.